Hello everybody, and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. This is Jana, and today we will be working on a square that I designed for another one of my daughter's birthdays. This is square number 254, Jana's Fandom Granny Square. It's a very open, lacy looking square. Has a couple of elements, some fans, some puffs. I hope you guys enjoy making this one as much as I enjoyed designing it. So let's go ahead and get our hooks and our yarn, and let's get started making this square. Okay, we are going to start with a chain of 6. And join into the first chain with a slip stitch. Like that. And then chain 4, which will be the first treble. Yarn over twice, go into the ring and make one more treble. Like that. And then we are going to chain 2. And we are going to repeat 3 times, 7 treble crochets, and then a chain 2. And we're making a little square. This one doesn't start as a circle, it starts as a square. So each group of 7 treble crochets is going to be one side of your square. So these are the first 3 sides. The chain 2s are your corner spaces. Let's see how many we have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 7. And then chain 2. Okay, so this chain 2 down here, the first one we did, that's our first corner. This is one side of the square. And then this chain 2 will be our next corner. 7 more trebles, a chain 2, 7 more trebles, a chain 2, and then I'll meet you back to work on the last side. Okay, so I know it doesn't look very square right now, but you can kind of see that's our first 3 sides. So we're going to finish up this last one and make 5 trebles into the ring. Okay, that's 3 and 4 and that's 5. Oh. Okay, so there's our last 5 trebles, and I know it looks like there's a little bit too much going on here, but it'll be fine. We need to join into the top of the chain 4 with a slip stitch, and that will give us the end of round 1. So that's what you should have. I know it looks not very squarish, but we'll fix that in a bit. But this is what you should have at the end of the first round. So for the second round, we need to get over to this next chain 2 space right here. So we need to slip stitch into the next treble, and then slip stitch into the chain 2 space, and then we chain 1, and we work a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into that chain 2 space, chain 1, we are going to skip the next 3 trebles, and into the 4th treble we're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and in the next chain 2 space we're going to single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. So you see we have, this is our first fan. We're going to repeat that on the other 3 sides. So let's see, we ended here with a single crochet, so we would chain 1, make our fan in the 4th treble, which is 3 DCs, a chain 2 and 3 DCs, and then we chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 in the corner, chain 1 again, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the 4th treble, chain 1, then single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to join. Okay, so I've made my last fan right here, my 3 doubles, my chain 2 and my 3 doubles, and I chained 1. So now we just need to find our first single crochet, and I think that's right here. Yeah, that's this one right here. So we join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. If you have a hard time finding it like I do, you feel free to use a stitch marker. I probably should have placed one when we started. But yeah, that's the end of round 2. And for round 3, we are going to chain 2, and we are going to make a puff stitch right into that single crochet that we slip stitched into. So yarn over, go into that single crochet that we joined in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go back in and pull up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop, and I believe that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one more time. These puffs have a total of 9. If you want to do a less full puff, you can do 7 loops, that's fine. But I'm going with 9. So once we make the puff, we're going to chain 4. And in the next single crochet, we are going to make another puff. So yarn over, go into that next single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the stitch and pull up a loop. Now that should be 9. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we yarn over, we pull through all the loops, chain 1 to close, and this will be our our new corner. We're kind of rotating the square with every round. So our first corner was here, our second round's corner was here, and now it's moving back over here. Okay, so once we have that done, we're going to chain 3, and in this chain 2 space we are going to work a single crochet, chain 3, and we are going to make our next corner here. So yarn over, go into the single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, go back into that stitch and pull up another loop, yarn over, go back in and pull up another loop, yarn over, go back in and pull up another loop, and I think that's 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1 to close, chain 4, yarn over, and in the next single crochet we're going to repeat that. So we yarned over, we went into the single crochet and pulled up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop, and that should be 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we yarn over and pull through all the loops, chain 1 to close, and that's our second corner done. So I'm going to do this one more time with you guys. We chain 3, go into this chain 2 space, make our single crochet, chain 3, and then we're back at making our next corner. So I'm gonna just leave you guys to go ahead and finish. So I don't know if you can see, but that's our new side. So the 2 puffs with the chain 4 in between, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, puff in the first single crochet, chain 4, puff in the second single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. So we're going to work a puff in this single crochet, we're going to chain 4, the next puff in the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in this chain 2 space, chain 3, work our 2 puffs in these next 2 single crochets, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. I'll meet you back when we're ready to join. Okay, so here we are at the end of round 3. This is our last corner, puff, chain 4, puff, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and we join to the top of the first puff, and I like to go right into this little loop that is created when you chain 1 to close. So I go right in there and join with the slip stitch. So for the next round, round 4, we're going to chain 3. That's our first double crochet, and then we're going to go into the same space and make another double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets into that same space, and that is almost a complete fan. We're just missing one more on this side, which is our last stitch before we join. So we'll get to that when we come back around. So chain 1, and into the chain 4 space we are going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and in the next puff we're going to work our next fan. So we work 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So there's our first complete fan. We chain 1, single crochet into the single crochet, chain 1, and make another fan into the next puff. So that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, then 3 more double crochets all into that same puff stitch. So you should look something like that. We're not really making true corners on this round. We're kind of just going around what's already been set up the round before. I guess these single crochets would count as your corners if that's the case. But you should have 2 fans on every side. Once you've made your last fan on each side, you're going to chain 1, single crochet into the chain 4 space, chain 1, and we're on our next side now. So we would just make our next set of fans. So there's 3 double crochets, chain 2, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. Chain 1, single crochet into the next single crochet, chain 1, and then make our next fan in the next puff stitch. So there's 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. So you can kind of see the pattern that we are working on here. So that's one side, that's another side. We're going to chain 1, single crochet in the chain 4 space, chain 1, make our next fan, 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet in the next single, chain 1, make our next fan, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 4 space, chain 1, make our next fan, chain 1, single crochet in the single crochet, chain 1, and I'll meet you back when we are ready to join. Okay, so here we are at the end of round 4, and here's my last single crochet, chain 1. So we are now going to make our last double crochet in the top of the puff that we started out in. So there's our last double crochet, and we join into the top of the beginning chain 3, and that is the end of round 4. And this is what you should have. So for the beginning of round 5, we need to get into this chain 2 space right here. So we need to slip stitch over to the chain 2 space. So slip stitch in the next double crochet and then into that space. We chain 1, we work a single crochet into the same chain 2 space. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. Make sure that I'm on screen. All right. And then we chain 3. And in this single crochet, we are going to work a puff. So yarn over, go in the stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, go in and pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the stitch and pull up a loop. And that should be 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops, chain 1 to close. Then we chain 4, and in the same single crochet we're going to make another puff. So yarn over, go in the stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop, yarn over, go in and pull up a loop. So that should be 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops and chain 1 to close. And we chain 3. And in the next chain 2 space, we make a single crochet. And you can see that puff, chain 4 puff formed our first corner. So now we're working along the side. So we chain 3, single crochet, chain 3 again. And in the next single crochet, we're going to work another puff. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, and yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. So that should be 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over and pull through all 9, chain 1 to close, chain 3, and in the next chain 2 space we make a single crochet, chain 3, and we are at our next corner. So we are going to puff, chain 4, puff in that single crochet, which is what we did here. Then we chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, puff, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and we work our next corner. So we're just going to repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet you back here where we're ready to join. Alright, so we are at the end of round 5, and I did my last chain 3. So we join now with a slip stitch to the beginning single crochet, and that finishes off the 5th round. So you should look something like this. And I am just at about 5 inches, I'm sorry, 5.5 inches. So a single crochet border is all I'm going to need to get to 6 inches. If yours is a little smaller, you crochet tighter, or yours is a little bigger because you crochet looser than I do. You can put a bigger border. If your square is smaller, half double, double crochet, it's up to you. If your square is at 6 inches, or if it's even maybe a little bit bigger, depending on what yarn and hook size you're using, and you're at the size that you want to be, you could leave it like this. It keeps its shape pretty well, and once you attach it to other squares, it should be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and do the size that I need, which is single crochet. No matter what size border you need, you're going to follow the same beginning. I chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch. That's the beginning of my border. If you need a half double, you would chain 2, and that would be your first half double, or you can chain 1 and then make a half double into the same stitch. So that's my chain 1. You could go into the same stitch and make your first half double, or you can do the chain 2 if that's too bulky and you don't like how thick that is, that would be your first half double. For a double crochet, of course, we would chain 3 and then just keep going. That's the only difference, really. So I'm going to single crochet, and then each chain space you're going to put in each chain 3 space 3 stitches. So whatever it is that you need. I'm making singles, so it'd be 3 singles in my chain 3 space, and then you would put 1 stitch in the top of the puff stitch. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the top of my puff, and in the corner spaces we will put 5 stitches. So 5 single crochets. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we just repeat that around. So 1 stitch in the top of the puff, 3 stitches in the chain 3 space, 2 and 3, 1 stitch in top of the single, 3 stitches in the chain 3 space, 1 stitch in top of the puff, 3 in the chain 3 space, 1 in the single crochet, 3 stitches in the chain 3 space, 1 in the puff, and then we're at our next corner, so 5 stitches into the corner space. And we're just going to follow this all the way around, so just go ahead and keep on doing that, and I will meet you when we are ready to join at the beginning. Alright, we are at the end of round 6, our border round, the last round. I've single crocheted all the way around as I showed you at the beginning of this round. So here's my last single crochet, and here's my first. Just gonna join with a slip stitch, and that is it for square number 254, Jana's Fandom. This is a square that I had fun designing and making with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed making it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.